You've done it. We've all done it. You open the App Store, you search for something, a budgeting app, a fitness tracker, maybe a meditation app because you're stressed about money, and you just tap the first result, the one at the top, the one with 1,000 five-star reviews and that little badge that says Editor's Choice. You download it, maybe it's free, maybe it charges you $9.99 a month, maybe it has a free trial that you forget to cancel, and you just kind of assumed that it was at the top because it was the best one. Here's the thing. That assumption is costing people, when I mean a lot of people, real money every single day. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about the invisible financial systems that quietly shape every decision we make. And I mean quietly, like nobody's talking about this stuff at the dinner table, nobody covered it in school, but understanding it, it is genuinely one of the most valuable things you can do for your financial life. If you're someone who's ever downloaded an app, paid for a subscription, or wondered why some products seem to dominate every search and every recommendation algorithm, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it helps you out. It really does help the channel grow, and honestly, more people need to hear this. Okay, let's get into it. So here's a number I want you to sit with for a second. The Apple App Store and Google Play Store together generate somewhere in the neighborhood of $130 billion per year in consumer spending. That's according to data from Sensor Tower and App Annie, two of the biggest app analytics firms in the world. $130 billion. Now, Apple and Google don't just host those apps for free out of the goodness of their hearts, they take a cut. For most developers, that cut is 30%. For smaller developers or subscription renewals, it can drop to 15%. But for the big players, the ones with the apps at the top of your search results, it's often that full 30%. So we're talking about tens of billions of dollars flowing through a system that most people interact with every single day and almost nobody fully understands. But here's what most people don't realize. The ranking system itself, the thing that tells you this is the best app, is not a purely meritocracy, not even close. Now, you might be thinking, Nick, it's just reviews and downloads, right? The most popular app rises to the top. And look, that's a totally reasonable assumption. That's what the whole system is designed to make you think. But let me walk you through what's actually happening under the hood. App Store rankings are determined by a combination of factors: download velocity, engagement rates, ratings, in-app purchase revenue, and this is the one that doesn't get talked about enough, paid acquisition. Here's how the math works in the real world. Let's say a mid-size app company wants to break into the top 10 for the search term budget planner. They hire a growth marketing team. That team runs paid Apple search ads, which is Apple's own advertising product that puts your app at the very top of search results with a small label that says ad in blue text that most people scroll right past. The average cost per install for a finance app through Apple search ads, according to AppsFlyer's 2023 Performance Index, it can run anywhere from $3 to over $8 per install in competitive categories. For something like financial apps or productivity tools, it can go higher. So if a company wants 50,000 downloads in a week to hit a velocity that gets them organically ranked, that's potentially $150,000 to $400,000 in paid spend in a single week just to manufacture the appearance of organic popularity. And once they're ranked, the organic downloads start flowing, which bumps the revenue, which they reinvest in more ads. It's a flywheel, and you, the person tapping the first result, are the fuel. This is where it gets really interesting and, honestly, a little uncomfortable. Because it's not just about which app you download, it's about what happens after you download it. The subscription economy in apps has exploded. As of 2024, the average American has 4.2 active paid app subscriptions, according to a JMP Securities consumer survey. And the average person underestimates their monthly app spending by about $133 per month. That's from a study by West Monroe Partners. People think they're spending around $80 a month on apps and subscriptions. The actual number? Over $200. Let me put that in annual terms. That's over $2,400 a year that people are spending on subscriptions, and they think it's $960, a $1,400 gap per person every year. Now, here's the psychological piece that makes this so effective, because understanding the psychology is how you start to fight it. The app developers who are winning this game have figured out something fundamental about how the human brain processes small recurring costs. It's called the pain of paying, a concept from behavioral economics studied extensively by researchers like Drazen Prelec and Duncan Simister at MIT. Basically, paying for something activates a mild neurological discomfort.
It's why cash purchases feel more real than credit card purchases. You feel the money leaving. But a subscription payment that processes automatically in the background, you barely feel it, especially when it's $6.99 or $9.99 or $14.99. Each one feels trivial. Together, they are absolutely not trivial. And the apps at the top of the charts have mastered this. They use free trials that auto-convert. They bury the cancellation flow 6 menus deep. They time their "Are you sure you want to cancel?" screen right after showing you a feature you actually like. This is not accidental. This is a design system. Now look, I want to be fair here because it's easy to just villainize app developers. And some of this is genuinely exploitative, but some of it is also just the brutal economics of surviving inside Apple and Google's ecosystem. Here's what a developer is actually dealing with. Let's say you build a really solid budgeting app that costs $4.99 a month. You take home $3.49 per subscriber per month. Now, you need to acquire those subscribers. Remember those paid install costs? Let's say you're spending $5 per install on average. That means your payback period on a single user is over 43 days, and that's only if they convert to paid, which most free trials don't. Industry average free to paid conversion for apps is 2 to 5%. So for every 100 people who download your app, 3 convert to paid. You spent $500 acquiring those 100 downloads. You're making $10.47 of those 3 users. You don't break even on acquisition costs for over 4 months, and that's assuming zero churn, which is fantasy. The average subscription app churns 5 to 7% of its subscribers monthly. The financial pressure this creates is enormous, and it directly shapes the product decisions these companies make. Why is the cancellation flow so complicated? Because reducing churn by even 1% can be the difference between the company surviving or not. Why are dark patterns so common in the top apps? Because the economics of the App Store practically demand them. Okay, so here's the part that genuinely surprised me when I first started digging into this. There is an entire underground industry built around artificially inflating App Store rankings. We're talking app install farms, warehouses, sometimes literally filled with devices or emulators that simulate real human behavior. Download the app, scroll through it, leave a 5-star review. These services are available right now for a few $1,000s. And according to research from fraud prevention firm DoubleVerify, an estimated 15 to 20% of all mobile ad traffic shows signs of being fraudulent or artificially generated. Now, Apple and Google do fight this. Their algorithms are sophisticated. They look for behavioral signals, device fingerprints, geographic anomalies. A lot of fake installs get caught, but a lot don't. And the ones that do get caught often come after the damage is done, after the ranking boost has already generated a wave of real organic downloads. And this is the part that I think really matters for the average person, because none of this gets disclosed to you. When you see 4.8 stars, 24,000 ratings, you have no way of knowing what percentage of those are organic versus incentivized versus outright fake. The rating is presented as a simple, trustworthy signal, and for a lot of apps it is, but for others, it's a constructed number. Let me bring this back to your actual wallet, because I don't want this to just be interesting trivia, I want it to change how you operate. Here's a real scenario. You download a meditation app from the top of the App Store. Free trial for 7 days. You forget to cancel. $12.99 a month kicks in. You use it for 2 weeks in January, then basically never again. But you also never cancel because it's one of those apps that makes cancellation just inconvenient enough that you keep putting it off. 1 year later, $155.88 gone for an app you barely used. And that's just one app. The average person has those kinds of zombie subscriptions they barely use but haven't canceled, eating up somewhere between $50 and $150 a month, according to multiple consumer finance surveys. That's $600 to $1,800 a year of dead financial weight. If instead you took that $100 a month and invested it, let's say in a simple index fund averaging 8% annually, over 20 years, you'd have approximately $69,000 from canceling apps you weren't really using. $59,000. That's a down payment. That's a year of college tuition. That's real money. And it's sitting in your subscription list right now. All right, so what do you actually do with all of this? Because information without action is just anxiety-inducing trivia. Here's my framework. 3 steps. Step 1, the subscription audit. Right now, not after this video, not this weekend, right now, Open your bank statement and your credit card statement and find every recurring charge. Then open your phone's subscription settings. On iPhone, it's Settings to your name to Subscriptions. On Android, it's the Play Store under Subscriptions. Compare the two lists. I promise you they will not match. There will be things on your bank statement that don't appear in your phone's subscription manager because some charges go through a third-party processor. Cancel anything you haven't actively used in the last 30 days. Not 60 days, not I might use it, 30 days. If it hasn't happened, it's not going to happen. Be honest with yourself. Step 2. Change how you evaluate apps. Stop using the star rating as your primary signal. Instead, look at the number of recent reviews versus total reviews. A recent slowdown in reviews can indicate declining quality. The developer's response rate to negative reviews and whether the app has a transparent pricing page on their actual website, not just in the App Store listing. Also, look at the business model. A paid app with a one-time purchase fee is financially aligned with giving you a great product.